Hi everybody and welcome to the road to Knoxville on Speed Stories. We've got a cool show for you today. We checked out some cool stuff at the Atlantic and Pacific Pub Street Square party. We were able to see the unveiling of the brand new look Bobby Meinzer number 15, and doesn't it look radical? We're going to catch up with Chris Krug, who will tell us all there is to know about My Race Pass. Man, that is one cool app with so much information. You basically won't need anything else but My Race Pass to get you by on race night. What else? What's the other thing?
Scott.
And we'll catch up with South Australian hard-charging ASCS star Scott Boguski as he continues his rise through the ranks and his attempt to pull on a full sponsorship program and really get his career rocking. All that coming up on today's episode of Speed Stories, The Road to Knoxville. Summer in Sydney, Australia will be sweet this Christmas. Get out of the cold, America, and come down under to the 2020 Ultimate Sydney Speed Week and Ultimate Speedway Nationals at Valvoline Raceway, Parramatta. Watch the Big Cat Brad Sweet and Texan Aaron Reitzel, plus several other USA stars take on the Aussies. From December 26 until January 18, we've got more sprint cars, midgets, and late models than you can shake a shrimp at. Can't get there? Get online and watch it live or on demand on clayperview.com. So we're sitting here in section, looks like section G, and G, she's beautiful. That way, see what I did there, Brian? See? That's how you do it.
Good charm.
We are here with the Browns. This would be Brian to the left, and this would be the gorgeous IB Heather. That's her Twitter handle, by the way. She's more prolific with her Twitter than you are, Brian.
She's good.
Yeah.
More funny than I am.
He has to be professional.
How's the new salon, by the way?
It's a boutique, a clothing boutique.
Okay.
It's really good.
Tell me about it.
Over a month ago, I got this weld hair. Everybody knows I love clothes and fashion, so I saw it got put up for sale, and that was something I really wanted to do, and I took over on June 17th, and as I'm here now, I don't know at home if that place is empty or if I have employees. I know nothing as I'm here, so hoping it will be something good to do through the winter, through the years. Yeah.
So you're going to start rocking some new outfits on Brian? Is he like the crash test model?
Yes, I can't get him out of that store. I'm ready for him to leave, and he's
really?
that store.
I like that.
He's nosy. That's what it is.
Oh, that's what it is.
He's nosy. Gotta be clean. Oh, who's coming in? He's got to know all that stuff. So.
I noticed that you roll in your Casey's water just there. Your truck rolled past Casey's. I was there every night. We go there after the races, and we just have some pizza on the hood.
Yeah.
That is the best pizza in the world, let alone from a gas station.
Yeah, it's awesome. A lot of people don't know it's the 5th most selling pizza in the whole country.
Is that right?
Yeah, they do a phenomenal job. It's been an awesome partnership, and it's something we're very proud to represent such a great company.
I'm proud to support the product as well, mate. I'm there every night.
And we can tell.
Thank you very much for that. It's the end of the interview. Let's just talk to Heather.
That's it.
So we're here in Section G, and this is a very special part of your growing up, Brian.
Yeah, it is. Everybody always thinks of obviously the racetrack and me growing up at the racetrack, and when I was a kid, they wouldn't let kids into the pits until you were 16 years old.
Wow.
And I think I was able to get in Dingus before I could get into the pits because of AJ and my buddies and things like that. But this is where I sit with my grandma Barbara Lasowski for all those years when I was coming here with Danny and my grandpa George, and a lot of my really early memories of Knoxville Raceway are sitting in these grandstands with her, and we'd be probably just like this, the first ones up here to make sure somebody didn't take our seats that we've had for 10 years. And
yep.
I would go down, and they used to have slot cars down below. I used to play those, and the biggest highlight of my night, though, every single night was, because he won a lot, was being able to get in victory lane picture with Danny.
And explain to the folks that don't know your relationship with Danny Lasowski.
So my mom and him are brother and sister. So,
right. Uncle Danny.
He's been like a father figure to me my whole life. I was able to travel with him, and one of the biggest things I enjoyed about coming to Knoxville Raceway, especially as a kid, is with a couple laps to go, I could take off down the steps here, run out the pass out gate, run down to where you would come across the track in turn 3 and 4, butter up the guy that's at the gate, and he would let me run down the front straightaway, and I could get in the victory lane picture before everybody else did. And something that was really really cool. So
Did you ever get to the gate and realise that he'd been passed on the last corner and you were devastated, or did he always get the win?
no, there was a few times, but
You must have been gutted.
112 wins. He didn't lose many, and when he got the lead, he made sure to win. So you know, that's Knoxville Raceway is the racing part is just a small piece of what is inside me. The biggest piece is the people, the time with my grandma, which we lost this a couple months ago, which is a big devastation, big hard loss to the glue to our family. So being able to do this interview in these seats where me and her sat for all those years is pretty special to me.
And you know the cool part about grandmas is you can be an axe murderer and your grandma will still say, I'm sure he probably didn't mean it. Right? Grandmas are the best at seeing the best in you.
Yeah, and as we got old, or as I started racing then, she would watch less and less, but know more and more, which I don't know how that was, but she was always the one.
Because she's a grandma.
When she did watch, I would hear, she'd say, oh gosh, look, looks like his tire's going low, or look, the engine's smoking, or whatever. She was always...
So, but that's where I came in. So Brian sat here as a kid. When I met Brian, I sat with his grandma right up the top up there in a suite, and I sat there with her, well, until probably 2 years ago.
Wow.
And they used to think she wouldn't watch the race, and I used to tell her, you could either pick Danny or Brian, but sitting with me, you can't pick them both. So I made her pick Brian, to choose Brian, but it did not matter. I don't know a lot about racing, and it did not matter if Brian was ahead by 12 laps. She was telling me the car's smoking, the motor's gonna blow. She's gonna tell me that the tire's low. He used up his tires. Oh, he set too long. Now it's hard. She had me convinced he was gonna lose this race every single time.
Really?
Yes. So she would have me a nervous wreck, and then everything would be fine, and she was fine. So they used to say she didn't watch. I used to say she watched. She knew every lap, what he did wrong, what was gonna happen. So I took over sitting with her as he was racing that I gave him.
I love this, mate. He's exactly you.
Yeah, that's exactly
right? This is exactly you 25 years ago, right?
100%, man.
Yeah.
That's why, like, I say it all the time, and then people think, oh, he's probably just saying that. This is my most fun week and a half of the whole entire year.
Yeah.
You know, we always take a vacation somewhere, but I'm always thinking about Knoxville Raceway, or just this is what it's about. Like these kids, I don't know, are they all 5 and 8 years old? They could be the next Steve Kinzer that's just wanting to be here, and that's so many memories growing up as a kid. Whether it's coming here as a young kid, and then being able to be a little bit older and be more a part of the racing part, and then obviously getting to race here for the first time, which was unbelievable, and then beginning to win, and now here we are.
On the eve of 50 wins.
Yeah.
50, dude.
Yeah, it's pretty special.
You got 72 to go, right?
Yeah. It's Danny didn't let me forget that. So,
yeah, 50 is cool, man. But come back and see me when you got 100.
Yeah, you're only 50, or you're only 75 behind me. Good luck, you know. So it's.
But you got time on your side.
Yeah, it's if we could ever get him with the #1 wins here, and me second all the time, that'd be pretty special for my grandpa. That's really one of my long goals.
Yeah.
But until you get 62 or 63, you got to get 50. So we're looking forward to getting 50, and hopefully we can do it this week.
Every one of the races generally has a really passionate woman by their side, Brian, to the point where they get very emotional, they get enormously invested. And the other night in the pole shootout, you know, it was that you and Brock got together here and the crowd was all up and about, and Heather even kind of come and sort of give me a little bit of a punch yesterday at Oski and said, don't say, are there any Brian Brown fans when everyone's getting up and about?
But I'm gonna explain why I say that. I can never describe what it's like as a wife.
That's what I want to ask you about.
But the part that I will describe, it becomes where he is like my child. When you say something bad about him, not in that way either. I mean, he is, but not that way. When you say something bad about him, it is very hard as a wife to sit and listen. So every time you would say his name, if it booed, it made me sick to my stomach, because it just, that's my kid. I know he's my husband. It's like, that's my kid. I want to defend him. I don't want people to talk bad about him. I don't like it. I tell myself, don't get on social media, because it's hard. Nobody understands unless they're talking bad about you. And if they're talking bad about him, they're talking bad about me. So I don't like it. I know he doesn't like it either. That's why I kept telling you, quit saying, are there any fans? So they could boo.
You know, it wasn't me booing, right? Just to clarify here, Brown. Right?
I heard the PA, Wade. You were agging it on.
Yeah. Well, you know that I'm a guy that loves that crowd reaction. action stuff. It's for
Yes.
me, it's show business, right?
It is.
And it would have been the same when you were a kid, man. Like Jack Irway and all those sort of Jack
Jim
Miller
Turner,
and those guys. That's how they
why,
made the show.
That's why you're the best. I mean,
Yeah.
and that's why the crowd's so important, and they're either going to like you or they're going to hate you, and you do things on the track that maybe some that liked you now or do hate you. It's there's some guys that are cool wearing the black villain hat with the black sunglasses with the black trench coat
and a TMC car.
Yeah, and
Black car.
and that's just not my. I'd rather be, you've known me for a long time, Wade.
Yeah.
I'm a easy going, let's have fun, let's be friends type mentality, and I didn't. The deal with Brock was just a racing deal, and I felt so bad. I went down and took him $500 cash afterwards just to say, hey, I made $2,500, you made nothing. Here's at least something to buy you front or a nose wing, and I was just very thankful in that incident that we went back green. I didn't want to go in the lane as the winner of by default. So it's part of it. But like I said, it's I'm very, very lucky. I think she is what really had taken me as a driver from here to the next level of just keeping me calm, just letting me know that life is more about life than just what happened here on Saturday night, and life goes on. So we're very lucky. We have a beautiful daughter named Michaela.
Yeah, you sure do.
That
second generation, babe.
Yeah, so that's life's good. So we just gotta keep doing what we're doing, and she's there working at the boutique now. So keeping the family business going.
But she's good too. She's good for pep talks to tell him he's doing good. It helps to have somebody. It's hard to always say, I don't want to sound like a broken record and say, I don't care if you ran less, I'm proud of you, honey, you did so good. At some point, you try to think of something different. So sometimes I just talk about what's Monday. Like skip completely like the races didn't exist.
Your hair looks great, honey.
It's hard. It's
very hard.
Racing is mentally 80% mental and 20% how do you react to it.
Yeah.
And I feel like
or how you don't.
How you don't react to it. And social media this day is hard because you can get a guy that's if he's got an iPhone like you got in your hand, he can get on there and say anything he wants to say and has no repercussion at all.
Nothing invested.
And I would never ever, I tell us all the time, I would never ever be able to switch roles with her. She's the perfect person to be my wife and have that job. But if she was doing a profession I couldn't do it just because there's so much stuff that goes on that's just nasty. But there's also so much stuff that goes on that's so
passionate.
life-changing.
Yeah.
No more excuses. No more maybes. No more putting it off. This is the year. Be there. Sprintcars Greatest Week. The 59th Annual NOS Energy Drink Knoxville Nationals, August 7th through 10th. Buy your tickets now at KnoxvilleRaceway.com and check it off your bucket list.
So last night I was standing behind Terry McCall, who is a human tornado. Like, he just never sits down. He's a lot like you. And I said to him, are you and Brown friends? Now you might find that you smiled when I asked that question, right? What do you think his answer was?
I think he would say probably yes.
Okay.
What was his answer?
Good try. No, he said yeah. And why would you think I would ask that question?
I don't know. I think just to see how maybe another competitor that we race fiercely with every week thinks of me, I would guess. But I mean, I don't know. But knowing you,
it was the ferocity. Yeah, well, it was the ferocity. I mean, to be honest with you, I think you two are the best at the PR game. I think, when you look at your cars, they're corporate, they're littered with partners. He has a lot more all over the car. It's a different car to look at. Yours is very clear and very clean, but you both have an outstanding corporate partnership platform. You're both very good at your media, and you're both extremely passionate about what you do. So it probably wouldn't have surprised me if you butted heads a few times, but I would imagine there's a respect between you two because you're kind of similar people.
It's probably back in 2000 and I don't know, maybe 4 or 5-ish area. We were in Rock Rapids, Iowa, and me and him were just standing down the corner, and I told him one day, I said, you know what, one of these days I'm going to have my own team just like you because I respect what you do. You control your own destiny. And lo and behold, here we are, whatever years later, and he's come to me probably a couple years ago and relived that same story.
Yeah, right.
You said that you were going to do that, but I want to tell you, you did it, and you did it better. And
He said that to me last night.
Yeah.
I said to him, you guys are very similar. He said, no, he's doing a better job than I am right now.
And even Saturday night after the drivers' meeting, we walked away and he said, man, I need to get you with my two boys. He said, because they just don't get it like you get it. And if they want to go and be in this sport for a long time, that, they have to get it. They have to understand it's more than just a sticker on the car and how you produce on the racetrack.
Yeah.
To me, that probably means more respect-wise for him to say, I need you to take my kid under your wing or at least talk to my kid than it would
mentor.
If he said, hey, you did a good job on the racetrack, because that's just part of it. But yeah, me and Terry, we've always just had a mutual respect. I think he's one of the best race car drivers that I've ever seen in the promotion he does at Oskaloosa. What he does for those kids, I think I have the utmost respect for Terry McCarl.
I hate asking this question because we do it every year to you. What do you think that question might be in this particular week?
Are we going to win the Knoxville Nationals?
And I hate even saying this, but I've probably never seen you better in the lead up to it than I do right now, which makes it even worse, right? So it's either going to flow on perfectly or you're going to have to reboot, rebuild, regroup, do what you do every year, but you are in just rocking form right now. And you're sort of putting it out of your brain, just a race. We all know that's BS, Brian. It's not just a race, it's the Nationals.
That's right.
Right?
I feel like that we are, and I think what you said about our form, I feel like we're better right now than we have ever been. And me and my crew chief, Chad, after we had a kind of not a so good Nationals last year, we came back here after we went home. We had a couple weeks in between that night and the final night here, and we just kind of put our heads together and said, okay, what's going on with our car? And what do we need to fix? And we started working on stuff right then, and we kind of came onto something that final night, and then we just have every week we just kind of built, okay, this is our qualifying package, this is our heat race package, this is okay with its 17 seconds, this is our 19-second package, and we just built this package. And I made it from April 15th or whatever until today, I made a conscious effort of any opportunity I can. I got to run that bottom. I got to beat Brett. I got to beat the dirt off the bottom to beat these guys, to beat Brad Sweet, Donnie Schatz, David Gravel guys. I felt like I was running bottom on Sunday night when I probably even shouldn't have been, but I feel like, well, let them beat me in a different line. Let me use their line.
Thank you for not beating James McFadden. Just let me bring that up.
Let me do that. So, but back to your initial question, man, there's nothing more than I would want in this whole entire world to be standing over there on Saturday night at 11 o'clock at night and being a Knoxville Nationals champion. I know between now and then a lot can happen. A lot can happen on the good piece and a lot can happen on the bad piece. So I've just kind of mentally told myself, whatever is meant to be this whole entire week is meant to be. And if it's meant to be, we're going to run third. It's meant to be. If it's meant to be, I'm going to be in the C main. There's nothing we can really change. All we can do is prepare the best we can, like my guys are doing right now, and don't overthink this. This is just another race here at Knoxville. We did that at the Outlaw show, and we won by 5 seconds. So we kind of took that mentality, and I think one thing I'm going to try to do this weekend is just have some fun. I mean, I think we get so amped up, and this is life or death. And it is in some cases, but it's not in some cases. So whether it's have a beer or go to Des Moines tonight for a team dinner, just enjoy we get to race for $150,000 at my favorite track. It happens to be my best track, where there's probably 98 other teams that would switch positions with us right now. So what do we have to be uptight about? Just go in there and do our job, and we should put ourselves in position to win the Knoxville Nationals. But if you think about, okay, what am I going to do to win the Knoxville Nationals? You will mess it up on Thursday. So our first obligation, our first goal is just to get to Thursday unscathed. If we can do that, I feel like come Saturday night, we've kind of ticked all the boxes of, okay, this is what we can do in all these situations. I feel like we have the team. I feel like I'm driving pretty good. So it would be up just to circumstances at that point.
I'm going to use a Top Gun analogy in a second, yes.
But this is where I feel like the difference is with him, why this year could be a better year.
Yeah.
Because being here for all these years, that right there is the difference in him. We used to stress from the time we arrived to Knoxville. He would stress every hour, every day. He would be mad, he would be angry, he'd be rushed, he'd be tired, he'd be exhausted. Every day he thought about what could go wrong, what's not going to happen, and now he's thinking, it is what it is. Here's where I've got going. That's good. Like, he's just a whole different person than, say, 5 years ago or 10 years ago. And I think that gives him a better chance to win, because he is taking some of the pressure off himself. There was many times, I mean, we were here for 10 days and I bet we maybe spoke a total of 2 hours in the 10 days, because it was just, his mind was all this and too much this. And you see other people walking around and they're other drivers and they're not like that. So when I see him, I'm like, why is he like that? And they're not like that. Why are they having fun and he's not having fun? I mean, it used to be stress, 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 stress. And now it's kind of like he's mellowed out a little bit. And I think that helped.
And I think too, what helps me a lot is I have a lot of people that surround me that are very successful business people on the outside, and they can look back and say Bob Myers from Casey's or Don Lamberti from Casey's. They can look back and kind of analyze. Okay, in my opinion, this is what went wrong last year. This is mentally what you did wrong or whatnot. And Don Lamberti, I had lunch, which is the founder of Casey's Stores. I had lunch with him probably in April. And he said, he made something that really stuck to my head. He said, you don't need to worry about beating those guys. They need to worry about beating you.
That's right.
And I came back and anything like that gets shared with me, I always try to come back and share it with Chad and Nate, my dad and my grandpa. Share, because it's important for them to know what's going on. And when he said that, I said, you know what? That's kind of right. Because when our car's right and I'm driving right, I don't feel like many guys can run my speed around here. So, when I'm driving wrong and my car's wrong and my head's wrong and mentally I'm wrong, there's not many guys I probably cannot run. So as long as we do all those things and I think the thing is just have fun. I mean, that's.
You guys have both seen Top Gun, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
What you need to do, Maverick, is stand at the back of the aircraft carrier and throw Goose's dog tags into the ocean. Right? Right? That was the turning point, right?
Yeah.
So, dude, throw them in the ocean, go win the Nationals.
Yeah, it's we're looking forward to it, man. Just and if the sun's coming up in Marion County on Sunday, she's heading to Vegas for a boutique show. She has to be at the airport in Kansas City at 8 o'clock on Sunday morning. So hopefully that's going to be big dingus. Go to 3 and 4.
See Paul Sides and Jason Sides.
Right.
Yep, and then she heads off. But it's just awesome. I'm lucky to have her on my side. I don't know what I would do this whole week if I didn't have her for the support, whether it be the highs or the lows. And we're looking forward to a great week.
That's all we have time for this episode of Speed Stories and the Road to Knoxville. We'll look forward to catching up with you tomorrow, though, when our next episode airs.